We are in recession, as you know, and it's difficult. I must say it's difficult. The only thing that for me, it's to boost confidence in the people out there who are paying. The method they pay, the transparency in the method and the accountability. Once you are able to sell that and you work with the government to see that the monies collected through tax are utilized well. The moment people see that, because as you know, tax, when you pay, there's no direct benefit. It's just a levy that is imposed on people without a direct benefit. The Benue people are understanding because the moment you engage them, that's why I keep saying engagement is just the word. Whatever you want to do, get them informed, sensitize them and tell them this is the issue. You will meet resistance. Nobody likes to pay tax, and there's nothing you will do that it will seem beautiful in the eyes of the people, because even when you call for stakeholders, someone who did not attend will have a different perception. But what we try to do is continually engage them at every level so that the friction is reduced. But you cannot be celebrated the moment somebody is bringing out something. You cannot. But the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, one person cannot build hospitals. Your own money, even if it's 15 naira, you're adding 5,000. Can that get you a school? Can that get you a hospital? So when we jointly do, you may say, I have not directly benefited on even roads construction. I have not passed through, but somebody, that person, even your child, even your relation have benefited from all these institutions. So it keeps us going. Tax is on consumption. It's a percentage of what you earn. That's what you bring. And if you do not you are not partaking in, levies are mandatory anyway, but when it comes to taxes, it's percentage of your income. Why for levy, it is just mandatory. They can just say, pay a development levy of 25,000 for a year. What that means is that in some other things like motor license, if you don't have a car, I will not knock on you to renew your license. If you are not a butcher, you will not pay butcher license. If so, it depends on what you consume, how it applies to you. There could be multiples of them. But if you have 10, it depends on which one applies to you to pay. So business people will always complain and say, look, hey, these taxes are much. But then if you also know there are some allowances that are given, but you need to leverage on it. The problem we have is, if you don't have a tax consultant that you can consult to tell you what is allowable, what is not allowable, what is deductible, you will end up cheating yourself. So sometimes I tell people, look, we'll do the enlightenment, but get an expert there who will work out these things for you. Some people even pay more, overpay, just because they don't know what to do. You have to file return. It is honor on you to file return and remove the things that you have spent money on, domestic staff, on all. Those are allowances that the law gives you to leverage on. But how many people know? Some just take a percentage without even removing what is allowed for them to remove, because they don't know. Because ignorance of the law is not an excuse. But if you want to really benefit, get a tax expert to tell you what to do. For small businesses to strive, you know, like for us, it's just personal income tax we collect, what you call also pay for staff, and then, but for limited liability companies, they have things like that they call it pioneer status when you are coming in. For us, it's just the pay. If you have business, your staff. Once you have up to 5 staff, you are supposed to register and start paying pay. That is deducting and paying to us. And then, because we want them to survive, when they start newly, we sit with them and then we negotiate. Ideally, one is not supposed to negotiate tax based on the law. But when you look that we are in recession, and if these businesses go down, you go down too. You will find a way of reaching a compromise. Like last week, Association of Private School Owners were in my office. And we agreed they had to pay 50,000 naira for renewal of registration for schools. Now I told them, look, you don't need to pay this 50,000 at once. You can even stagger it for 3 terms. But there must be that commitment to pay. So we are looking far above what the law is doing and trying to talk with them how their business will strive and government will also to strike a balance. For Benue State, recently the governor inaugurated what we call Joint State Revenue Committee. If you look at taxes and levies for 2015, you will see signage and mobile advertisement jointly collected by state and local government. Now, hitherto before now, the state will go, if you have a signpost, it will tell you pay 50,000 or maybe 25,000 as it applies to you. You pay. The local government also will come and say, look, hey, we have to collect. So what the Joint State Revenue Committee has been able to do for us is just to harmonize tax administration. So you have, it's a 7-member committee comprising of the 23 local government, the chairman of the board, and then you also have the legal advisor to the board. You also have the state commander, FRC, as an observer, Revenue Mobilization Fiscal Commission, an observer, and then you also have a director from the Bureau of Local Government Affairs, not more than the rank of a director, as a member of that committee. We are trying to harmonize these taxes even up to local government, because state will not be seen doing something different. When something is jointly collected, what the State Revenue Joint Revenue Committee does, the state will collect, local government don't go to collect because that's double. If I collect on the same revenue source, so what the state will now do is to collect and then give back 50% because it's jointly back to each of the local government as it concerns them. So we've been able to handle that. And also, when you say multiple taxation, is like in Benue, you pay for produce tax. As you're passing through Enugu also asks you to pay. You see how it is. But at the Joint Tax Board, we are trying to also harmonize that. We are trying to look at, because each state have their own different kind of law. Because what applies in Benue is more agriculturally driven, because that's where most of our revenue comes from oranges. So a lot of people, what this government has been able to do, because one thing my governor doesn't like is for people, untold hardship on the people. So once he brought this up, if you pay produce tax, livestock, haulage in the market, we have what you call designated checkpoint. Once you get to the checkpoint, hitherto before now, you pay in the market, they ask you to pay there. That's multiple. But what we've been able to do is to also put a signpost in all the exit out of Benue, telling you haulage is 1,000. Nobody should collect more than that. But Nigerians, most times, they don't like to read. When you get to the checkpoint, only show your receipt. I have paid in the market. You will go. Why did we put those exit points? We are rich in agriculture. Oranges are not bought in the market because you can't get trailers of orange in the market. You go to the orange orchard where the farm is. You go with the trailers, you fill it up. So you see, we will not know which farm, in which local government you are operating, you are plucking oranges. But we can't get you at the exit out of Benue State. So all we are looking is, you've not paid. I have paid. Let's see your receipt, and then you move on. So it's just for tax evasion purpose, for those who are not able to see them in the market and be able to transact this business. The local governments, they are comfortable because we've enlightened them that this thing, they are going to be created. Each local government chairman is going to have a platform, maybe through your phone or through a laptop or even through a TV. So what happens is you will watch real time, because we are going to use POS machine. And on the platform, you are going to see as the money is coming in, even in the 23 banks and even right there in each market. So even if a local government chairman is here in Abuja, once you get online, you will say, look, today is Taka market. This is how much they are collected on behalf of the state and the local government. So the state does not get to cheat you. You don't get to also cheat the state, because once at the end of the day, this is 50,000 came in, 25,000 will be transferred into the local government revenue account. We are trying to do that so that our people don't suffer, so that local government goes on their own, collect, state goes on their own, And then the man is helpless. The businessman there just wants his goods to get out there. Sometimes they are perishable items like tomatoes and all. So what would one do? So, but they are very comfortable because they are on top of it, because it's automated. Once you have an automated system, you are anywhere, but you can view what is happening. Even in the recession, when the governor was able to get bailout and clear, for that month, we had ₦1 billion and 57,000. That came from that same state. So it tells you if things are working well, because the moment we came in, they've been using manual receipt, what you call BNT receipt. And then some people will print, and then they work Monday to Tuesday. They pocket the money because they have printed their own receipt. And then the government maybe gets only 2 days out of 1 week. So the moment I noticed that, I went to the governor and said, look, if you go with the BNT receipt, we'll have issues. He said, what was the problem? I said, some people came to me that normally they print receipts and they issue their own receipt out so that when government send for audit, those receipts, government receipts, are not receipted. So you can't hold them on that. He said, what are we going to do? So the governors forum had called for a peer review group of all the 36 states. When we came, we noticed, you look at the strength of other states. We saw that Niger, I saw that they were on POS, on their own war, because we had green to show we are doing well in this area. So we got talking. How did you do this? So they said ECA's solution. It's a software company deployed that. So the moment I told my governor, he said invite them over. Most of the people didn't like it, but we know we had to do what is good for our people. So they did that. That presentation was done 11 p.m. in ESCO to tell you how he wanted it to be carried out. The people waited, they did a presentation, the ESCO saw that it was a good project, they approved it. And then they moved in with, we have over 4,000 pieces of POS. So if you go to the High Court, if you are fined, nobody will give you a manual receipt. All MDAs, that is ministries, departments, and agencies of government, are all placed on POS. So with this, the leakages are reduced. We know that, yes. And they know that the governor has always read that Riot Act. You know, me also being a woman, the only way I can do is automate. If I don't, because as I am now, I can tell you real time how much has come in. That's the only way to go. Because for most people, if you look at the whole state, for now, at JTB, I'm the only woman. A lot of governors will say, taxation. People look at it as if it's fight and everything. But for us, no. There's flexibility for me, because once you engage people and take an action, the people know where you are going and they key into it. So even at JTB, I sit with 37 men. I'm the only woman there. But we compare notes. What is this state doing? How is it doing it? That's the essence of that meeting. So you are able to look at leverage on what other states have done, succeeded. If they've not succeeded, you keep it down. So you don't force it on the people. It's step by step, even though it's the law. Sometimes when it gets too hard, we could bite a little and then we'll move on.